Hi, everybody. My name is Gerald Moore Jr., and I'm the founder of Ohio Cannabis Report. I am also the founder of Athletes in Cannabis, and these are two independent media platforms where we focus on different areas of cannabis in the cannabis community. And so today, I actually wanted to share just a basic presentation about cannabis, Cannabis 101. I mean, we just legalized, I'm in Ohio. So we just legalized adult use cannabis a year ago, and we legalized medical use cannabis about 6 years ago. And so with that, I'm going to share this presentation um, to dive deeper into just Ohio cannabis and cannabis in general. Okay. So, first page, Ohio Cannabis 101, Understanding Cannabis in Our State, presented by Ohio Cannabis Report and me, Gerald Moore Jr. So, what is cannabis? Cannabis is a plant, as most basic thing, right? It's a weed. It can be used for medicine or relaxation. It has been around for thousands of years in cultures worldwide. Two main types of cannabis in Ohio. So we have medical cannabis, where doctors can recommend it for patients with health issues like chronic pain, illnesses, cancer. There's up to about 20 plus ailments and illnesses that doctors can recommend cannabis for patients in Ohio. Now, I have my medical cannabis patient card for chronic pain and arthritis. They say you can also get it for CTE, but unfortunately, CTE can't be discovered until you die. And so I know it's a little bit morbid, but so there's a lot of other ailments. One of the, I guess, positives of having a med card was before we had an adult use program, we only had a medical program. But then there's also a little bit of a discount that you don't pay. You don't pay the taxes on some of the cannabis. So that's one of the benefits of having a medical card in Ohio. Some doctors are still charging a lot of money for medical cannabis cards. So I would just tell you, if you are planning on getting a medical cannabis card, just shop around a little bit for the best price. Cannabis helps with pain, stress, sleep, and other conditions. Then you have recreational cannabis. Adults 21 plus can buy and use it legally, like alcohol. And then ways people use cannabis. So you have flower, where people typically dry the plant and often smoke it or vape it. Then you have edibles, cookies, gummies, drinks, tinctures. You have oils, tinctures, drops under the tongue for medicine. And then you have topicals, creams, and lotions for pain relief. And then we say why rules matter. So only adults 21 plus can buy recreational cannabis. For medical conditions, if you're under 21, you can again have a medical condition that can be prescribed. You can have a caretaker. That caretaker can go get your medicine for you. Um, Keep cannabis away from kids and pets. Obviously, you want to lock your cannabis up in jars or locks, containers, things. Keep them out of the reach of children and pets. And then you don't want to drive after using, just like alcohol. So again, cannabis is a little bit different than alcohol, where everybody intoxication level may be different. Again, not all cannabis gets you a psychoactive high, right? So not a THC gets you the head high, where some people may be drowsy or sleepy. Some people may get focused, hyper focused, or organized. So again, cannabis is something that affects everybody differently. So if you're new to cannabis, you want to try to start slow, right? Start with micro dosing. So if you're doing edibles, don't eat a whole edible at one time, right? Don't eat a whole 50 milligram, 100 milligram edible. Cut it and take smaller chunks. If you are taking an edible, usually the onset is a lot later than if you take like a vape or smoking, right? So onset for a gummy typically is probably going to be 30 minutes to an hour, and sometimes even longer. And that high is typically going to last a little bit longer, and it probably be a little bit stronger because it's more of a body high than just if you ingest it, right? If you ingest it by smoking it, vaping it, goes right to the brain, so you're going to have a quicker, you're high, you're probably going to be high, almost immediately if you smoke or vape. Businesses must follow strict safety and testing rules. for the cannabis industry. Where the money goes right now, the money is locked up. And so the tax money is supposed to go to schools, local communities, fund community health programs, improve neighborhoods, infrastructure, support equity programs for communities hurt by past cannabis laws. And then safety first, lock your cannabis away at home. Start with a small amount if using, especially edibles. Ask questions if you don't understand. Education keeps everyone safe. The big picture, health. Cannabis helps patients feel better, which is I think the most important thing. A lot of people are dealing with trauma, anxiety, stress, grief, pain. And so cannabis helps relieve that a little bit without giving you the added issues that typically pharmaceuticals may give, right? Even though the pharmaceuticals may work, a lot of times they mess up our internal biology, right? So our liver, stuff like that. Equity, making sure opportunities reach everyone, especially impacted communities. Key takeaway: cannabis is legal for medical patients and adults 21 plus in Ohio. It's regulated like alcohol. Responsibility is key. The GOP politicians are trying to change the cannabis laws right now. So there's a lot of talk about obviously getting rid of hemp, THC, removing those products, removing those drink products from the shelves of retail stores, grocery stores, stuff like that, and putting them all into medical cannabis or recreational cannabis dispensaries because of the hemp farm bill. And then they're changing, the federal government is looking to change the hemp bill as well. So states are allowed to create their own laws that folks have to abide by. And then obviously you have the federal government that have their laws. So cannabis also creates opportunities for health, jobs, and community growth. Learning the facts helps everyone stay safe and informed. So that's just a quick and brief um, introduction to Cannabis 101 for very basic, you know what I mean? If you're just like getting into it, you have no idea about cannabis. Our whole lives, we've been told stay away from the weed, the war on drugs, dare. But cannabis is much more complex than just say no, right? Like there's a lot of different modalities. A lot of people don't like the smell of it because it could be very pungent and strong, which is understandable. But if I take a cannabis edible or a pill, you don't know if I'm high usually, right? Like you're not gonna know. There's not gonna be any like extra things that's gonna be like, oh, he's high on weed. Like, no, a lot of people only know that somebody's high is because they smell them. Which again, that is a ritual, that is a customary that some folks like, right? Because that may be a religious practice for them. Consumption of cannabis by rolling it up in a herb form and smoking it. But again, there's a lot of different ways of getting cannabis into the system. Obviously, combustion can be harmful to the lungs and to the heart. So, a lot of people, if you have pre-existing conditions, vaporization and smoking might not be the best option. But there are a plethora of ways of getting cannabis into the system. So again, thank you guys for your support. Please like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Ohio Cannabis Report. Also our backup page at Ohio_cannabis_report. We're also on Facebook as well at Ohio Cannabis Report. Try to tap in with us wherever. And we're trying to give you guys the most current and updated news when it comes to the Ohio cannabis industry. Peace.